we hope maybe they can join us next year. Oh, maybe we want to stop the recording here. Ooh, you want to stop this recording
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah. I want to setting up for the YouTube because it's very hard, you know. This is
Yeah,
still redirecting.
yeah.
Okay, I think.
Oh, because it's streaming. Oh my god, it's streaming. Oh my god. Oh my god, we are live. Hello, Nicole. Oh my god, we are live. Help. Do you want to test your microphone, Nicole? Hey, Chesam. There
Yes,
she
ma'am. Hi,
is.
ma'am. Can you
Everybody
hear my
standing
voice?
up. I'm standing up. I'm dancing around, as you see. And ooh, fluffy animals. Fabulous. So, let's test your microphone, Nicole. Testing, testing. One, two, one, two.
Test,
Test, test. More, more, more.
test, test. Ma'am, can you hear my voice in this distance?
This distance. Yes, maybe you want to speak a little bit louder. You hear how I am always yelling? That's because I have problems with the microphone. Oh yeah, you're power posing, aren't you? Very good, very good. Keep it up, keep it up. Oh my gosh.
I've been practicing it many times, girls.
I did tell you about that. She's in one of my clubs. I think I told you. She called me up and said, "Oh, I have this problem at work when my boss comes in, and like I know what I want to say to the client, but the boss comes in, and I suddenly forget everything." I said, "Okay, power pose." And she was so enthusiastic. Like 1 week later, she calls me up. It works! It works! Nice shirt you have too.
Thanks, ma'am.
Today is free batik. I don't think this is batik, but you know. Oh, okay, yes. Let me just see YouTube. Oh, yes, we are live on YouTube. Ooh. Oh, okay, yes. So when you are speaking, do pay close attention that you do not have any, that you're not connected to another device. I just did that. That you're not connected to another device which has the audio on loud, which loops back into here. Otherwise, it will start looping and it will slowly turn into this screech. So, hey, Reventon, welcome. Are you going to be our MC for today? You are on mute.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, I will be the MC for today.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Fabulous.
Okay, remember, I share for the link.
Okay, the recording started more or less right when I said maybe we want to stop the recording, so all good. Our secrets are safe. Let's see.
5 minutes to go.
Where is everybody?
Raventon, please change you wearing the batik. Thank you.
Welcome, Rishalam. And Varsha, welcome to, oh, Filbert. Varsha isn't here yet. Welcome, Varsha.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. I
That's
need to
fine.
do something real quick.
Okay. And Gracielle, welcome too.
Hello, ma'am.
Reventon is going to be the MC for today. Oh. Richella, you freeze.
Don't say again that Risela will. No, 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 don't say that.
Is there anywhere in the house you can go, Rochella, where there's more internet?
Yeah, I still remember with the speech performance last December.
Last year. Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we are complete minus Michael and Shaina. So we have 7 speakers. Reventan, can you check it before we start? Complete, right?
Yes, full member except for Michael and Shaina.
Yes. Correct.
Well, Filbert, can you please test your microphone too quickly?
Okay,
Just
test.
perfect microphone. And Nadia?
Testing.
Perfect. And Gracielle, we know. Varsha, we know. Good. Gracielle, I'm not sure if your computer, if your settings do the automatic adjustment. If they do, maybe you want to take that off. Okay. No, it's good.
Filbert,
Filbert is getting ready.
should we need to wait Filbert or just start, remember?
Filbert, how long?
How long can you go?
Five minutes, we start first. Okay, perfect. Okie dokie. So, right now we hand it over to our official Master of Ceremonies for today, Reventon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Reventon, and I am so honored to be your Master of Ceremony for today's event. Today, we gather not only to compete, but also to grow and celebrate the power of public speaking. We appreciate the effort, courage, and preparation that every participant has invested in this competition. Before we begin, let us start by praying together according to our belief. I will lead the prayer. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together for this speech competition. We are grateful for the opportunity to learn and share our ideas with one another. Please bless all participants, coaches, grants us confidence, wisdom, and positive spirit throughout this event. Help us to speak with clarity, listen with respect, and appreciate each other's efforts. We entrust this event into your hands. Amen. So, to officially open today's event, I would like to invite our coordinator, or Ma'am Erna, to deliver her welcoming remarks. I will pass the mic to you, Ma'am Erna.
Okay, hello, Reventon. Thank you so much for the John. Hello, everyone. It's very lovely evening because we come back here to see, to listen, to watch your performance for the speech competition. And this is, we do it because we want to see the result after you practice in 1 year. Oh no, sorry. This is alumni, so this means 2 years. It's not only 1 year. Yeah. So I mean, this is the group of, I believe that they can do it the best for the speech competition, and I hope that all of you prepare it. And I can see before they have practicing a lot with my member as the coach here. So thank you so much, my member, that you always accompany them, that you always give them motivation and new knowledge, new spirits, new technique, yeah, and a lot of information there. Okay, so I don't want to spend my time here too long. So because this is very precious time, we can start our speech competition. I hope that now we can do here everything well. Okay, back to you, Reventon. Good luck.
Thank you, Ma'am Erna, for your warm and welcoming speech. Next, it is my pleasure to invite our coach, Coach Amber, to deliver a welcoming speech. I will pass the mic to you, Coach Amber.
Thank you, Reventon. My virtual English class journey. You'll probably think that this journey, however difficult, whatever, was only for you. Oh, I can tell you, this has been a long effort, very scary at the beginning for me too. When in January 2024, a certain person said, "Hey, Amber, I know you want to work with students doing a youth leadership program here. There's all these kids over in Indonesia." She threw me into the swimming pool on the deep end. And those first meetings, I was there like, what's going on here? Who are these people? I don't understand the pronunciation. Oh my God, how am I going to lead them if I don't understand them? But time after time, I stood there and I listened and I found all of the, and then suddenly it dawned on me, oh, okay, now I understand where we are going through, what we want to do. Who remembers the mistake, the misunderstanding between the timer and reading the minutes of the meeting? Who remembers that? Well, we have come such a long way. With you, it's fabulous because we have known each other, not all of you, but some of you we have known for multiple years now. And also with the other newer students, it's always amazing to start out on this journey together in September and come full circle around to May, where everyone has grown, not only you, us too. This whole program is being forged and created on the go to make sure that it really fits the needs of the students inside the Tunascaria Foundation across the islands, taking into account all of your backgrounds, taking into account the different ages and what each one of you is capable of and aspires to become, keeping first and foremost your individuality. And when I say I am so proud of each and every one of you, I mean it, and you can bet your teachers mean it too. So, just to make another rhyme, without further ado, Reventon, back over to you.
Thank you for the mic, Coach Amber, and for your motivation and inspiring message. Now, let us start with the first speaker, Elizabeth Nadia Kaligis, with the title Endless Memories, Endless Skills. I will pass the mic to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, MC, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, families and friends, fellow dreamers. As you know, we have actually met in this program for almost 2 years now. Amazing, right? And I can say that the journeys we've been through together is magical. Well, actually, the first time that I've joined this program was actually an invitation from my English teacher. He said, "Hey, Nadia, would you like to join a virtual English class?" Well, I immediately said yes. Of course, why not? Let's give it a try. When I first joined the virtual class, I saw many faces I don't recognize, many teachers I've never met before, and without my realization, that program was about to be my starting point in the love of public speaking. But if you didn't know, back then, I was actually labeled as the quiet kid, the one who sits in the back of the class, reads a book, and never gets a chance to stand up for themselves. When I see this program, I see it as an opportunity to change that title. Well, I started to go to some classes. Of course, at first, I was stuttering, I was shy, and I had no emotions on my face. Just a complete slight smile, and that's it. But the education, it was lights up my spirit to speak. Every meeting is like a new chapter that opened inside me. Every skill, every lesson is improving me. But one day, a notification to join a speech contest popped up in my notifications. Well, with all the skills that I've got, I decided to give it a try. So I started to write my speech, practicing it, rehearse it, rewrite it until it's perfect. Well, if I do say so. I practiced day and night until the day has finally came. I stood there and I set up my camera. I did my speech, and thank God it was beautiful. But when I saw the other participants go and do their speeches, oh my God, I highly doubted myself that I'd win. But to my surprise, I actually won 4th place. And from then on, I started to go much more braver and much more lively. I also started to join much more public speaking contests, debate activities, and started to inspire others. Well, if you didn't know, transforming from an introverted person into an extroverted person is very tough. And so, with all the journeys that I've gathered, I decided to motivate my introverted friends. I said, hey, you actually got potential. The only thing you need to do is to brighten up your soul. If you make mistakes, it's okay to be afraid. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, right? Level up your potential. Why do I do that? Because motivating friends is essential to prevent isolation, unlock hidden potential, and build genuine self-esteem. By gently encouraging them to step outside of their comfort zones, you help them combat feelings of loneliness, and they realize that they are capable of thriving in new situations. So I showed them what my love in public speaking actually looks like with me joining one competition in my school, which was actually the Easter storytelling contest. And I only had 2 days to prepare. It includes writing the script, rehearsing it, and practicing it. Well, at the time of the competition, I was actually wearing my mother's white gown, and I brought literally a full, huge bag of properties. Why? Because I love using properties, bro. And when it's my time to do my storytelling, I stood there, did my storytelling, and at the middle of my storytelling, I suddenly realized, hey, my fear of speaking is gone. I love speaking in front of people. And at that time, I finally realized that my love of public speaking had reached its climax. And if you have any struggles on speaking, you're insecure, you have no passion in speaking, I mean, that's okay to be scared. But just remember to level up your potential. And at the end, I had found many new friends that are so fun. Hello to you all here. And that was my journey in this program. Endless memories. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you, Elizabeth Nadia Kaligis, for your speech. I must agree that this journey was indeed magical. And it also changed many students' lives and helps us to overcome our insecurity. Next up, we have Nicole Finelachong for the title Finding My Voice. Nicole, I will give the mic to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and beloved judges. My name is Nicole. I'm from Santa Teresia Junior High School. Today, I want to share my speech. I want to share an experience about me joining this virtual English class. This journey may seem simple, but for me, it became an important part of my growth and confidence. For your information, I don't like English at all, and my purpose joining this program is pure to learning English and learning public speaking. So I started joining this program when I was in 7th grade. At that time, I felt very nervous. I was afraid. English was not easy for me, especially the speaking part. Whenever Ma'am Amber or the president asked me to do an impromptu speech, my heart shakes. My heart beats very fast. I don't know what I even thinking about. I can't even think any words of English. I was afraid to say it out loud. I can't express myself in English. I don't know anything about public speaking. Since the class was virtual, it was also a new experience to me. Learning through a screen felt strange at first. Sometimes the internet connection bad, and sometimes I felt very shy turning on the microphone. But besides that, I was also happy because I can meet a lot of people from different schools and even different country. Even though I was afraid, I was nervous, and I was struggle, I kept trying my best learning English. I kept trying to understand. Step by step, I started learning more vocabulary. I started more listening English daily by watching videos on YouTube. I keep repeating those actions and I hope that my English getting better in the future. After a while, I realized that my English become a little bit better. I'm brave to speaking in front of a lot of people. Even there's still mistakes, instead of being afraid, I begin to use those mistakes to improve myself. One thing that I learned from my journey is that confidence is not appear instantly. Confidence grows through practicing, patience, and courage. It costs much of time. It's not instant. We cannot gain it instantly. Even a small progress is still a progress. I also realize that English is not just a language. English is a thing that connecting people from different places, from different cultures, and even different backgrounds. By learning English, I can communicate with more people around the world. And with English, I can open more opportunities for my future. This English class did not only teach me about pronunciation or grammar, but this journey teach me a lot bigger than that. It teach me to believe in myself, even when I was afraid, I was nervous, struggle, or insecure. Looking back at my 7th grade, I felt proud of myself because I didn't give up easily, even when I feel embarrassed because my mistakes. Actually, to everyone who is still afraid of speaking English, I want to say one thing. Don't be afraid of making any mistakes because every great speaker is once a beginner. The important thing is to keep practicing and never stop trying. We must try our best to do it. In the end, VC has changed me a lot. It changed me from someone who was nervous and always keeps silent into someone that is more confident and willing to speak in front of a lot of people. That's all about my journey in this virtual English class. Thank you all for listening to my speech.
Thank you, Nicole, for your wonderful speech. I agree that mistakes is inevitable and the progress is what matters. I hope you love English more in the future. And let us hop to our third speaker, Chiesa Brigitta Curie, with the title Memories from VEC. Chiesa, the mic is yours.
Thank you for the MC, Revinson. And hello, everyone. And to the judges, and good evening, for starters, ladies and gentlemen. So, the title for my speech, yes, Memories of VEC, as in virtual English class. And so, honestly, before I joined this program, I was just the type of student who said to myself, when I joined this program, I should be improving my English vocabulary more and plus my public speaking. But before I dive into those stuff, I should be telling you guys on how I got interested in this language. Yes, English. Fun fact, English was actually my first language. Yep, you heard it right. And I learned English, that is from TV shows, ever since I was a toddler, well, at a younger age. And the programs I watched was Disney Junior, also High Five, and also, not from me, I'm the eldest sibling in the family, and yes, also my other siblings also talk in English too. And funny story, long story short, and there was this story that my mom shared to me, and that's when I said that first word. So the story was one of my parents just went back from the market, and I think it was my dad, and he brought a plastic, and I came up to him and I pointed, cucumber. And that was my first word. And I also called my dad till now, actually. And from the moment I knew what my mom told me, I was very surprised, and it was unexpected, and it was very funny. And that's when I got very comfortable in using English. And sometimes I'm using English and Indonesian back and forth, and sometimes I don't even know the words. And yeah, that's still learning, and I'm still growing little by little. And for the times, I sometimes communicate with foreigners through social media to practice, talking about what we're interested in, and that's how I practice my English more. And that's all. But when I got to this English program, and I guess, how did I join? Well, it was flashback during the pandemic when I was sixth grade. It was the time when we were literally in front of our phones. It was literally my mom's phone, and this baby I've been using, well, my phone. It's been 5 years I've been using it. And yes, first of all, it was from our English teacher. She said to us that you two should be joining this program. And she talked to me and also to my little sibling, little sister. And yes, we both joined, and I should share on how did I feel. How did I feel on joining that program? Well, I'm the student who just quietly listened, and I am pretty introverted at that time, and I got really nervous easily. And whenever I just joined the Zoom meeting and in front of my mom's phone sometimes, and yes, we quietly eat snacks and yeah, with our mother beside us, and sometimes we went off cam, and yes, there are lots of students that I don't even know their faces. Well, yeah, I was quite a nervous person that time. And I somehow, since I joined in junior high school, well, another English teacher, that is him, he asked me to join this program since I was joining the English club, and I am so into English, and yes, of course I joined it. And even though I couldn't even remember the memories, but one of the memories that was the best was when our coach, Mr. Mike, came over to our high school, junior high school, and he taught us many stuff of becoming a great speaker. And we even set up our speeches and talked in front of him and in front of our other classmates. And he also corrected us. And I guess from the conclusion of all that, I've been part of the VEC for a few years, I guess. And till now, I'm joining again in vocational school. I joined for 2 years as in the alumni group, and that's when I met my favorite coach, Ma'am Amber, and also my other teacher, English teacher at school, Ma'am Chacha, and also Ma'am Erna. And like I said, I want to join this program just to improve my English, but nah, it's just giving me lots of fun experiences. And as in playing tongue twisters, listening to people's stories, also experiences from them. And yes, it was very fun, and we also earned confidence. Well, I earned confidence whenever I joined vocational school and I got into student council, and plus I also joined PEC. Well, that bring me lots of confidence and taught me many things to become a better public speaker. And as in our coach Amber said, you have to keep your eyes on the camera, stand straight, avoiding filler words, even though you couldn't avoid them, but try to. And so you use bullet points if you're hard to remember on your speech. So most importantly, well, from all of these experiences, it gave me lots of unforgettable memories and lots of new friends. I still remember you guys, and we had lots of fun sharing experiences. And this program also taught us to believe in yourself. And you also met amazing people who taught you how to be a better speaker. And this program also feels like home. And I guess that's the end of my speech. Thank you for listening. Back to the MC.
Thank you for the mic. Yes, I also learned my English from some TV shows and medias. Also, I also have to try switching languages because it helps us master several language at the same time. And the cucumber as the first word was indeed very funny, and I hope you're not eating any snacks right now. So moving on for the fourth speaker of today, Graciel Adeline Gunawan, with the title A Quieter Kind of Courage. Graciel, take away the mic.
Thank you, MC. During a trip to Japan, I listened to the same recording every single day. On trains, while walking through unfamiliar streets, in quiet moments alone. The recording was not a song. It was not a podcast. It was a speech. One of my first speeches. Well, the voice was timid. It hesitates. It stuttered. It sounded like someone who wasn't quite sure she deserved to be heard. And the more I listened, the more I realized something. That voice no longer sounded like mine. Good afternoon, respected judges, fellow participants, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Graciel Adeline Gunawan. And standing here today, I cannot help but think about the girl in that recording. The girl whose voice trembled. The girl who hesitates. The girl who feared making mistakes. Because 2 years ago, that girl was me. When I first joined this public speaking program, I was nervous, uncertain, and honestly not very confident. Speaking before an audience felt intimidating. Every word seems open to judgment. Every silence felt far too long. Every mistake felt enormous than it truly was. There were moments when my voice shook, and there's moments where I forgot what I wished to say. Moments when I look at others who appeared naturally confident and wondered whether I would ever become like them. Yet I remained. Not because I suddenly became brave, not because the fear disappeared. I remained because I made a simple decision to continue. If there is one word that defines that decision, for me, it is resilience. For resilience is not the refusal to fail, rather, it is the determination to continue despite failure. It is raising once more after stumbling. It is to choosing to speak even when your voice trembles. For many years, I believe courage must surely be loud. I imagine it as confidence. I imagine it as certainty. I imagine it as standing before others without fear. Yet, life has the curious habit of teaching its finest lessons when we least expected them. And for me, that lesson arrived aboard a train in Japan. While I was in Japan, I realized that the only recording I had on my phone was one of my earliest performances in this program. One of my very first speeches. So I listened to it, then listened to it again and again and again. Before I knew it, it had become almost a ritual for that whole week. Every day, on trains, on quiet moments alone, while walking through unfamiliar streets, but it just become a habit. It's just me and that old version of myself. And each time I listened, I heard something I had never noticed before. I heard fear, not obvious fear, not the dramatic kind of fear, but the quiet kind that hides between words. The kind that reveals itself through hesitation, through uncertainty, through a voice trying very, very hard not to shake. And suddenly, I saw that younger version of myself very differently. Because despite all that fear, she still stood before an audience, which obviously made me proud. She still spoke. She still tried. And hidden beneath all that uncertainty was something remarkable. It's not a confidence, it's not perfection, but courage. The courage to stand before an audience despite being afraid. The courage to continue. The courage to speak despite doubting yourself. The courage to begin even before you feel ready. For growth is rarely loud. It does not arrive all at once. It does not announce itself with great fanfare. Rather, it reveals itself quietly, in forgotten lines, in trembling voices, and in the decision to try again after failure. More often than not, it unfolds so gradually that we scarcely notice it. We concern ourselves with our shortcomings. We dwell upon our mistakes. We focus upon the distance still left to travel. And in doing so, we forget to look behind us and see just how far we have already come. That old recording reminded me that I was no longer the same person. My voice is steadier. It no longer trembles in quite the same way. It feels stronger. Not perfect, but braver. And perhaps that is the nature of growth itself. Not becoming fearless, but becoming stronger. That the fears that once held us back, gone. These past 2 years have taught me far more than public speaking. They taught me to preserve. They taught me confidence. They taught me how to continue when progress feels invincible, feels invisible even. And more importantly, they have taught me that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the moving forward despite it. The recording did not merely preserve a speech, it preserved a version of myself, a younger version, a quieter version, a version still learning to believe that her voice mattered. And perhaps that is why I keep it. Not because it was my best speech. Well, it's quite the opposite. It keeps me where I was beginning. And to anyone listening who is still afraid to speak up, still afraid to raise a hand, still afraid to let their voice be heard, allow me to leave you with this. Your voice matters, even when it shakes, even when it falters, even when it's still finding its strength. It still matters because every confident speaker was once a nervous beginner too. Every strong voice was once uncertain. And every journey begins with a single act of courage. Today, that recording still exists on my phone. It reminds me that courage is not always loud. Sometimes it's stuttered, sometimes it's trampled, sometimes it sounded like a young speaker who is terrified, yet speaks anyway. And perhaps the bravest thing of all is a quieter kind of courage. Once again, my name is Gracela Din Gunawan from SMP Yosudarso 1 in Batam. Thank you very much for your attention. Back to you, MC.
Absolutely outstanding speech about progression and bravery. These programs helps us to forge ourselves to be better. Even though we stumbled many times, we have to stand again without fears. Your voice always matters. Moving on to our fifth speaker, we have Risela Banderio with the speech title From Outcast to Outstanding. Risela, take the mic away.
Thank you very much for the mic, MC. Ever since I was little, I've felt a little bit different. Not because I was smart or anything, but more like an outcast. Since I've grown up speaking everyday conversations in English, I've always felt a little bit judged by the other kids at school. Maybe they thought that I was speaking an alien language or something. I grew up thinking and processing in English because my parents encouraged me to do so. They encouraged me to learn the language. It was also the fact that I grew up watching TV channels like Nickelodeon or Disney Channel without the Indonesian dubbing. I was quite small and little when it happened, but
one day I just realized, oh, I don't understand when my friends are talking. And then later in life, I found out that my teachers had realized it too. I wouldn't understand their lessons because I don't understand the meaning of their words, which is weird. I'm Indonesian. I am from Indonesian. I was born there. How could I not understand my own homeland's language? Fortunately, a silver lining emerged in seventh grade. I got to meet people who I can actually relate to. And I met some more when I joined the VEC, the Virtual English Class. The VEC was a space where speaking in English was expected and an obligation. The whole point of that class was to hone and improve your public speaking skills. And during that year when I joined, I'm proud to say that I've improved in speaking. Although that wasn't quite the main takeaway that I got from that class. It was confidence. It was understanding that being different is okay and how it could become a good thing. Because in that class, you are taught to speak in front of an audience, to present a speech to either inspire, educate, or entertain other people. So of course, when you're practicing all of that, you end up gradually building your confidence. We also have an annual event, the WSD, World Speech Day, that pushes us to work harder because of the desire to not look bad and to not be the worst. Because that event was streamed, okay? That was streamed live on YouTube. So anyone and everyone could watch your speech live. So you cannot mess that up. You can't. On a serious note, though, my mom saw that speech that year on the live, and safe to say I was surprised, but also so embarrassed. But hey, at least he complimented me on my performance, so that's okay. I guess it's okay. If my first VEC experience was that good, how about the second? Fast forward to 10th grade. I decided that I wanted to be busy. I wanted to be productive. I wanted to be active in a whole bunch of activities. And well, I was. This year, I got to join the student council. I got back into public speaking after a long hiatus. I joined the National Science Olympiad and then many others. Forgetting that the workload here at my high school is massive, insane. On my birthday month alone, I was hit by a mountain of work. I was going home at 6 p.m. and going to bed at 12 o'clock midnight just to study, studying alone. And so now I do regret some of the activities that I did join, but the VC, no, no. I'm still happy that I got to join here. I got to join the WSD again this year, the World Speech Day again this year. And although it was nerve-wracking and I definitely made a whole lot of mistakes, I'm still happy and grateful that I got to join in that event. I've also made a few more friends that had a big role in why this class was so much fun. It just feels like when you're with the right people, anything could be fun and enjoyable. This one time, my friend was showing us his stuffed animal, and so we all showed ours, and we took a picture together. Another time, we played a game where one person started to make up a fictional story, and then the next person had to continue that made-up story. The story we made was, safe to say, pretty wild and pretty crazy, but it was also entertaining. This journey has been exciting, but unfortunately, everything needs
come to an end sooner or later. Not long after this, we all will have to part ways. I just want everyone here to know that this class has been an amazing ride. Getting to know all of you was an experience. And thanks to a virtual class, I got to learn that being different can be a good thing. Being different makes you unique. Being different allows you to shine. So if anyone out there is doubting themselves just because they're different, use that difference and become outstanding. Thank you all for listening to my speech. Back to you, Raffinton.
All right, thank you for the mic. First, speaking language other than your first language is absolutely fine. And second, let us move on from that incident on World Speech Day. And third, even though we have parted ways with this class, we can still be connected with our coaches and our friend. Moving on with our sixth speaker, Philbert Luvito, with a speech title, The Boy Who Was Afraid to Speak. Philbert, the mic is yours.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Nibble Peter. Today I'm gonna tell my storytelling, the title of The Boy Who Was Afraid to Speak. I want to tell you a story about a boy named Daniel. Daniel was not the smartest student in his class. He was the funniest. He was not the most talented either, but there was one thing people knew about him. He was always silent. In his class, Daniel never raised his hands when the teacher asked questions. He looked down at his desk when he's in the corner. It was not because when his classmates laughed and talked together, he stayed quiet in the corner. It was not because he hated people, he was simply afraid to speak. You see, when Daniel was younger, he once tried to answer a question in English class. He stood up. Suddenly, some students laughed at his pronunciation. One student said, "Your English sounds so weird and bad." The classrooms filled with laughter, and from that day on, Daniel stopped trying. He believed his voice was embarrassing. He believed silence was safer. Years passed. Every morning, Daniel carried the same fear to school. Even when he knew the answer, he stayed quiet. When he wanted to make friends, he stayed still. He stayed quiet. Inside his heart, he had thousands of words, but fear locked them away. One day, Daniel English teacher announced something surprising. There will be a storytelling competition next month. The whole class became excited. Everyone started discussing ideas and practicing stories. Everyone except Daniel. He lowered his head, hoping nobody would notice him. But suddenly, the teacher walked toward him and smiled. Daniel, she said softly, and I think you should join. Daniel said, and Daniel's eyes widened. No, man, I can't. The teacher looked at him kindly. You can, Daniel. That night, Daniel could not sleep. He kept thinking about her words. You can. For the first time in years, a small question appeared in his mind. What if I actually try? The next day, Daniel secretly started practicing alone in his room. At first, his voice trembled, his hands shook, sometimes he forgot his words completely, but every night he continued practicing again and again. Some nights he wanted to quit. The fear inside him whispered, "You will embarrass yourself again." But another voice, small but growing stronger, said, "Maybe this time will be different." Finally, competition day arrived. Daniel stood backstage, following his heart beat like a drum. His hands were cold. He could hear the audience talking outside. He wanted to run away. Then suddenly he remembered something his teacher once taught him. Being brave does not mean you are not afraid. It means you continue even when you are afraid. Daniel took a deep breath. Then his name was called. As he walked into the stage, the room felt enormous. Hundreds of eyes looked at him. For 1 second, his mind went completely blank. The fear returned. But then Daniel looked at the audience carefully. He realized something surprising. Nobody wanted him to fail. They were simply listening. So Daniel began. At first, his voice was quiet, but sentence by sentence, his confidence slowly grew. He used expressions, he used emotions, he allowed allowed himself to feel the story, and for the first time in his life, Daniel stopped hiding his voice. When he is finished, the room became silent for one terrifying second. Daniel thought he had failed. But suddenly, the audience exploded into applause, loud applause. Some people even stood up. Daniel couldn't believe it. The boy who was once afraid to speak had finally found his voice. But the most important thing was not the trophy he won that day, it was the lesson he learned. Fear will always exist, but fear should never de- decide who we become. Sometimes the smallest voice can become the strongest of all. That's all for my storytelling speech. Thank you all for listening for listening to my storytelling speech.
All right. Not every person was born perfect and talented, including us. Just like Daniel, we have to keep learning and find our voices. Also, what matters most is not what people said about us. It's about our own courage. So, whoever you are, Daniel, I'm rooting for you. Next up, we have our final speaker for today, Farsha Laquita, with the title The Journey of My Voice. I shall hand the mic to you, Farsha.
Much. MC Reventon for giving me an introduction. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We've all had our journeys. The reason why we stand here is because the experiences we have along our ways. Well, I've had my own experience and my own journey, and I want to share that with you. My journey of how I became a confident speaker. It all started when I was in 7th grade. It was 2023. And my teacher at the time told me, hey, there's this class, VEC, Virtual English class, where you can learn and be a speaker. And I decided to join because why not? I had nothing to lose. Plus, the class was free anyway. So, I remembered when I first started, me and a lot of other people were separated into 3 groups. And my teacher in that PEC was Ma'am Erna. She told me to do an impromptu speech. So, of course, I did it, and I made a whole lot of mistakes. One, I was too close to the camera, so you can't really see my hand that much. And then second, I was going all over the place. I was going left and right. I wasn't staying still in the middle. And then third, I was stuttering a lot. I had a lot of filler words. So, of course, my teacher pointed it out to me. Hey, this is some of the mistakes that you did, and for future references, please don't do this or reduce it. So, of course, I learned that from VEC. Then we move on to the first time I had to do public speaking ever was when my teacher told me to do a storytelling for my school's birthday at the time. I was actually like so nervous that I couldn't even hold the mic up to my mouth and no one could actually hear what I was saying. So that's one hell of an experience, I guess. Next, we go to 8th and 9th grade. I was actually like struggling a lot with having low confidence in speaking to the public and speaking in front of a bunch of people. I was nervous when I was doing that. My palms were sweaty and I didn't know what to say. I actually forgot a lot of things that I wanted to say. But don't worry, I was starting to learn. I was starting to learn how to gain my confidence, and I was starting to learn how to actually talk in front of a lot of people. And I implemented what I learned during times where I was told to speak in front of my class. The teacher was like, hey, this assignment, you go talk about it in front of the class. So I implemented what I learned from BC, and I actually stand in the middle of the room, and I talk my heart out. I talk what was on my mind because, of course, it was a task. Next, we move on to high school. High school was nerve-wracking. There was a lot of things that happened, but of course, this is my journey of gaining confidence as a public speaker, so that's another story for another day. My teacher told me, hey, BEC, it's here again. It's free. You can join. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? It's free. There's nothing to lose. So of course, I joined again. And what I've realized is that I've grown a lot from junior high school to now in 10th grade. You know, 7th grade, I was a nervous wreck. I don't know how to speak properly. But in 10th grade, I actually learned how to confidently say what's in my mind. I can tell that I've actually learned and did a lot to myself to improve on how to be a better person as a public speaker. And we move on to my second time actually doing World Speech Day. Let's go back to the first time when I was told to do World Speech Day. The time I was actually off topic. I wasn't remembering my script. I was actually reading the whole time. So, the second time, I had a better experience. I actually remember what I wanted to say and actually said it. Because the topic was to be a world citizen. So I asked my coach and my teacher, hey, what does this actually mean? And they were like, it's to say what you wanted to say to the whole world, a message that you want to say to the whole people that's gonna listen to you say it out loud. And I'm like, what could be the best way to say to people? So I decided to speak to people to never give up. And now I've actually had I actually have 2 years of being a public speaker under my belt. And I've learned a lot from this journey. I've learned that actually being a confident speaker doesn't just come up here in an instant, but it grows slowly, it appears slowly out of you. You became confident because of experiences that you have to do. And the reason why I actually became more confident is because my mindset snapped. I was I was nervous in seventh grade because my mindset at the time was like, oh my gosh, what will they think of me when they hear this? But now I changed to, you know what, just lowball it. They're gonna listen to me. The mistakes that I do is for me. I'm gonna know that mistake. They're not gonna know. So, of course, that was making me confident now. And for those who are actually still nervous to speak in front of the public, just know you'll eventually be confident in the things that you want to say to the world. And public speaking is sometimes scary, but don't worry. Eventually, it's not going to be scary at all. That is it for me, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and giving me your attention. Adios. And I'll hand the speaker back to you, Reventon.
Thanks for the speaker or mic, Marsha. It is true that filler words is unavailable for beginners, but with enough confidence on talking in front of others, online or offline, we will 100% snap ourselves to be a better speaker. So, that's the final speaker for today, and for now, I would like to hear some words from our beloved coach, Coach Amber. The floor is yours. I will hand the mic to you, Coach Amber.
Thank you, Reventon. First off, fabulous work being our MC today. Everybody give him an applause. Right, and each and every one of you, wow, amazing work. And some of you are probably thinking, it wasn't the best. I could have done better. Oh no, I spoke too long. Or, oh no, I forgot what I had to say. It was too short. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are here. What matters is that you keep on doing your very, very best, as Mom Chach always says. And what matters is that you take this journey with you. And wherever you go, some of you, maybe we will see each other next year, and some of you I already know, probably not. But you can take this experience with you wherever you go. You can start a little group like this wherever you are. It doesn't have to be anything formal. It doesn't have to be anything super structured. You can bring together your own little tribe of friends and people. You support each other mutually the same way you have been doing in this class. And go from there. I don't want to add anything else. It's been an amazing journey, and one thing's for sure, every single one of you had better be here on the 20th for the award ceremony. Okay? Yes, yes? Very good. Right. Back over to you, Reventon.
Thank you for the mic, Coach Amber. Yes, today every speech reflects our progress, our courage, and our dedication for the English speakers. Before we conclude, I would like to invite another person to speak. I would like to invite our coordinator to deliver the closing remarks. I would like to call Ma'am Erna to speak. I will hand the mic to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Reventon. Still nervous, Reventon. No. You did best, You did great. I really like it. Okay, this is the summary one. Oh, okay. What should I say? With the 7 participant or contestant to present this speech, so that's means I believe that it's time for the judges to think which one best of the best. I think it's very difficult, Oh my God, because all of you can did great, I also don't know which one to choose. Which one, the first, second winner. Oh, it's not my job. Okay, that's not my job. Don't take the judge's job. So whatever the result later, you have done your best here. You use, you implementing all the knowledge that my member as our coach give you, and as you know it, because we are nothing without you, my member. Yeah. Once again, thank you so much for everyone here. You did very best. You did great. You did perform everything here. So success to make the judges confused to choose which one best of the best here. So I know it that we need to close the day one for the speech competition with can you check, Reventan? We have 1,000 live audience outside, right? We have 1,000, yeah, here.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah,
1,000.
okay. So we have to give big applause for our mother here, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. I hope we have the best result and we have to wait for that. Back to you, Reventan.
Thank you for the mic, ma'am. I hope for the best of the best for judges and good luck for you all. To officially close today's event, let us pray together according to our beliefs. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for your guidance and blessings throughout this event. Thank you for the opportunity to learn from one another and celebrate the talents of all participants. We are grateful for the efforts of the organizers, coaches, and the participants. May the lessons and experience we gained today continue to inspire us to grow in confidence, knowledge, and character. Please keep us safe as we return to our daily activities. Amen. So,
Stop
for
the live
everyone,
stream.
have a wonderful day, stay confident, and keep speaking with purpose. Goodbye and see you at our next event. Adios!